So I've got another question from you guys. This one is about paralysis by analysis. And I've talked about it before on the podcast. I can't remember if I've done a video about it, but you guys asked, so here it is. So to me, the paralysis by analysis thing is summed up in one simple statement. It's about living far too much in your head, not trusting your heart, your instinct, your intuition, your gut feel. When you're trying to work out the right answer to something in your head, therefore it's the analysis, you can't do an analysis in your heart or in your gut instinct. You can only do analysis when you're in your head. And in your head is where a lot of the fear is driven. In your head is where that limbic brain, that caveman brain, which has you worried about getting yourself in trouble or getting yourself into danger. So your mind is very much pre-programmed to want to protect you from potential danger or potential problems. So what happens is our brain tries to think of every possible negative outcome to any scenario and come up with a strategy or contingency so that doesn't occur. What it means though is that you're constantly stressed and worried and fearful about what could possibly happen in the future at some point, even though that thing hasn't occurred yet. So you spend so much of your time worried about what's coming. So then that flows into this whole paralysis by analysis. You're trying to look at things to do, you're trying to work out different things, and you have no capacity to actually tap into your heart and find out what's the best answer for you. I can guarantee after 48 years of this planet, and for many of those years making a lot of bad mistakes, doesn't matter what mistake you actually make, if you make a mistake, it's better than if you make a decision that leads to a mistake, it's better than making no decision. So what I mean by that is, sorry to confuse you a little bit, when you are worried about something, you're worried about the outcome, you're terrified about what's going to happen, you're trying to work out all of the possible outcomes, that's the paralysis by analysis. You're trying to look at every possible outcome, everything that happens, and it's impossible. And that impossibility leads to you going round and round in that circumstance in your head over and over and trying to come to a different result. You and I can both look at exactly the same set of circumstances and exactly the same stimulus in any situation and come up with two totally different outcomes or totally different perceptions on that scenario. And the problem when you're dealing in that sort of environment is the perception that you have is your reality. So if you're perceiving that a particular situation is going to end up really bad for you, it's going to end up with drama or conflict or violence or negativity or financial impact or a loss of a loved one or whatever it might be, then you're very hesitant to want to make that decision. So the paralysis by analysis means we often just get stuck in this fear-based response that doesn't give us any answer. And often it's just an excuse. It's just a way of letting yourself off the hook from making the choice you know you need to make. The particular person who sent me this gave me a little bit of background saying that, they're trying to work out what to do in their life in a particular situation. There's no financial impact. They have plenty of money to do what they need to do from what I read. So therefore, there is nothing stopping them except fear itself. And it might be the excuse of there's too many options. It might be the excuse of what if I make the wrong choice? I've made so many wrong, in inverted comma, choices in my life that have led to exactly the right place. So my idea is forget the analysis and just follow your gut and do what you know is the right thing. And if you make a mistake, who gives a shit? Make a mistake, make it fast, learn the lesson, move on. You're far better to have made 3 mistakes in a row in the next 3 days than to sit for the next 4 days and wonder whether you should do anything. Because the more you think about it, the more problems you come up with, the more confused you become, the harder it is to get to the outcome that is actually going to bring you the result you want. That is why that whole paralysis by analysis occurs. So my advice to you is get off your ass, do what you know you need to do, follow your gut on the decision you need to make, and often it's the one you don't want to make, hence the reason that you're analysing it and you're paralysing yourself as an excuse to not do the shit you know you need to do. We all know in our heart what the decision is we need to make. We often just don't want to make it. So the paralysis by analysis is just an excuse to let you off the hook from making the choice. Have an amazing day, my friends.